Yeah, yeah, this is my palace. Champagne in my chalice. I got it all covered like a wedding band. Wonderland, so my alias is Alice. And we gon' start a motherfucking pussy riot. Or we gon' have to put them on a pussy diet. Hey, y'all. Look at that, I guarantee I got them quiet. Look at that, I guarantee they all inspired. A-Town made it out there. Straight out Kansas City, yeah, we... All right, welcome. I'm glad to see you guys are here. Hope your day is going well. My day is fantastic. It's nice to see you. This is the first episode of my new series. It's an advice column that's going to be called Ask A Brown Feminem. Basically, it's me having a conversation with you guys every single week. You guys can submit questions anonymously on a site. I will add the link after the video, or you can even email me directly, and I will offer advice in the guise of a friend. If you guys have questions or comments for me, please feel free to submit them. If you have advice or if you have friends who need a little advice, also feel free to submit that. So, that being said, today's affirmation, I want to start every week with an affirmation and keep things positive. Today's affirmation is you deserve to celebrate you. And it's very simple. Basically, it's a mantra that I've been repeating to myself this entire week. You deserve to celebrate you. Because at the end of the day, you have lived 100% of the days up till now. All of those yesterdays, you've kicked ass and you've made it, and you are here. Celebrate that. Be conscious. I appreciate you. So, now that the affirmation is out of the way, I'll hit you with the questions. And I actually was really excited to get a few of them over the week. I'm so grateful that so many people wanted to participate and so many people had such interesting questions. And what I'm thinking I'll do is pick 3 each week to answer here and on my Instagram. And I will continue to answer questions as we get rolling. So, the first question up on deck was really interesting. Uh, it reads as follows: do you have advice on how to best advise a child or preteen handling depression and possible gender fluid issues? The parents are supportive, but at a bit of a loss as to how to relate. Which is it's really interesting, and I appreciated that question. And I feel like issues with depression is something that we see a lot with young people, and with older people. And I feel like we're now getting to a point in society where we understand that that's a journey that a lot of people have to go through. Um, and we're becoming more knowledgeable about how to address that and how to address that when people are young so that they can live their best possible lives. As far as gender fluid issues, that's something that we're seeing a little bit more. And I am always encouraged to hear that parents want to be supportive and they want to be educated about this sort of thing. So it's a good question. Thank you. Um, Again, I'm really glad that the parents are supportive, but I feel like the first thing that parents want to do when they're hit with an issue with their child is to fix the problem. Like, the first thing is like, okay, my child's suffering, something's awry, there's got to be a solution for it. And I feel like whenever you're hit with depression or anxiety, issues like that, the first thing that you want to do as a parent or really as anybody who's close to that individual is listen. Um, a lot of the time, a person can express what it is that they need from you in that moment if you're willing to listen to them for a little while. And oftentimes, you'll find that what they really need is just somebody to let them vent. So, my advice would be to first off be that safe place for your child to speak about what it is that they're going through. Um, and if your child or loved one is exhibiting symptoms of depression and it's possible for you to seek help through therapy, I would say definitely do that. And I would suggest everybody go through therapy. Therapy is dope. It's important to be able to express yourself again, and having that sort of backup through somebody who is trained. Hi, everybody. Having the backup through somebody who is trained is gravy. So yeah, I guess I would say that seeking therapy for this person to speak about their depression and their issues that they're dealing with as far as gender would be the first thing to do. Um, and if these parents are anything like me, they're probably grasping at any sort of information that might be possible for them to kind of get better acquainted with gender issues, especially since that's kind of a new topic on the table. And so I did a little bit of research and actually found a really cool book, which is available on Amazon. It's available on Kindle. It's available on Audible. So really any form that you want it. And it's called The Transgendered Child, a handbook for families and professionals. It's by Stephanie Brill, and basically it's a compilation of interviews and research on gender identity issues in young people, all the way from like toddlerhood to college age. And so, if you're looking for a resource to kind of help you better acquaint yourself with all of that, that's what I would say. And I will also comment the link to that book after the video. The second question I got was pretty cool. It says, Jasmine, what do you do when a super close friend of yours is trapped in an abusive relationship? This particular type of abuse is mental and financial. And this one I had to sit and think about because I know that partner abuse has been something that I've been more than familiar with in the past, and we all sort of have to get through that journey in our own way. But I do know how it is to be the friend in that situation on the outside looking in and wanting to help and feeling helpless as that person. So thank you for reaching out, and I'm glad to know that the person that you're submitting this question on behalf of has a person like you in their corner. So thank you. Um, what I would say is some people may not even be familiar with financial abuse as a type of abuse, and it definitely is. It's a valid form of abuse. A lot of the signs have to do with friends who say, well, I'm on a budget. My partner handles all the issues. Or they're signing things and they don't even realize what it is that they're signing off on. These are people who have just really had their power taken away in that manner. And just like any form of abuse, physical, mental, emotional, what have you, it is a power play. It's a way of sort of taking over that person's life. So first off, the knowledge that that is abuse, that's the first step. That's a step in the right direction. Um, Second, I would say that a mistake that a lot of us make is becoming so frustrated with people who are in abusive relationships because from the outside looking in, you're asking questions like, why would this person not leave? Um, why would you let yourself be treated this way without understanding the level of manipulation that goes into an abusive relationship and how slight and how subtle it can be in this ramp up into that situation until you really do you have no power, you have no money, you may not feel safe. It's very easy to be trapped in that way. So as a friend, I would say be as supportive as you possibly can. um, the person has either told you directly or indirectly that they're in this situation, which means that they feel that you are a safe place. So we want to make sure that that remains intact because that's going to be imperative. That's going to be so important for them in order to kind of create an exit plan, which is the next step is creating an exit plan. If this is a person who I'm not sure where this question was anonymous, so I'm not sure where you're living, but I know that there are hotlines, especially national hotlines, that are available and can kind of put point people in the right direction of resources available in their area. The one that I think of is the National Abuse Hotline. It can be reached at hotline.org, and I have the phone number that will also be in the comments. Excuse me. So again, if this person can get out, I would say get out immediately. If not, start building towards that exit plan, um, and express to this person that yes, they can get out. Yes, they can sustain themselves. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. They do not have to stay in a relationship where they're not being treated right, where they're being abused. No one deserves that. So, again, I will go ahead and add the hotline to the comments for your consumption later. And thank you for your question. I hope your friend is able to leave and turn this around because they deserve it. My last question for today reads as follows: says, I love my boyfriend of 3 years very much. He's very giving. We feel similarly about the big issues. My family loves him, and we make each other laugh every day. That's pretty nice. I think that I might want to spend the rest of my life with him. The problem is that the sex is pretty uneventful. I've tried telling him that I'm not feeling satisfied, but no matter what he tries, he can't quite get me there. My question is, should I leave my amazing relationship to find someone more in tune with my body, or do I stay and just accept that I'm going to be unsatisfied? Lord have mercy. So, thank you for your question, and it's tough. I mean, that's tough, friend. I'm glad to hear that you're in a relationship that's so positive for you, and that you guys seem to be really happy. Um, but it sounds like you guys are definitely lacking in a department that's pretty important to you. I can't speak on behalf of your boyfriend, but it sounds like it's pretty important to you. Um, it's interesting to me that you said, should you accept that you're going to be unsatisfied, when actually what's more likely to happen is that you'll just cheat. You'll get to a point where you're going to be tired of being unsatisfied and you're going to start looking elsewhere. I don't know what your deal is as far as non monogamy versus monogamy in this relationship, but if you guys are pretty big on monogamy and it's just being the two of you guys, um, it's time to talk. It's time to speak up. Um, and I know that we, as a people, can be very bashful about sex issues, and it can be difficult for us to express ourselves. But I would say to give it a try. It sounds like your partner, your boyfriend, is pretty willing to work with you, and is pretty willing to learn how to satisfy you. But if he's not receiving any information on his end, not much is going to change. So, if you can find it within yourself to start expressing what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like, I feel like you're going to be more successful. And if you're not, say you're younger, or maybe you just never have really delved into that. If you're not familiar with how your body works, then it might be time to get some alone time and figure out what does, and then relate that to him. The best way to have a positive sexual relationship is if there's communication from both sides, or from multiple sides if, again, non monogamy is your thing. So, yeah, you just got to get to talking. Um, we're all familiar with the old game hot and cold, so it's pretty much like that, but with private parts. So, again, get to talking. I hope it goes well. I would love follow up comment to let me know how things go. And again, you can do that anonymously, and that goes for everybody who submitted questions this week. I want to know how you guys are doing. I want to know if this is helpful. And if it isn't, if you want to comment that I suck, you go ahead and do that. I don't believe you, but you can do that. Uh, so, relatively short video, but I appreciate everybody checking in and being here with me for the first episode. I'm going to try and make it a weekly thing. And, if you have questions that you want to submit either anonymously, you can do that at my anonymous link, or you can email me directly, and we'll get those questions answered for you. And remember, you are appreciated. So, on that note, have a good week. Bless.